Hello! Welcome to Bad at Board Games.
Well, he's bad at board games.
I'm Brad Lake.
I'm Topher Ferguson.
We're bad at board games, so you don't have to be. He is good at board games. Today we're going to go over our top 10. Now, I know you've been chomping at the bit, all 50 of you, or 5 of you, whichever ones have been watching this. We've been doing our lists separately, and now we're together to give each other shit and hopefully be surprised about what we pick. There's going to be some crossover, and there's going to be some like he's probably going to slap me in the face. We'll find out.
I do think we're going to have some crossover. We have not seen each other's 40 through 11.
Right.
So this is the top 10 that we're doing together. So we don't know yet what each other have filmed for the first 3 episodes of the top 40 list. So this will be fun. I've been trying to guess what's on his lists. I think we're going to have some overlap, but I think there's going to be some surprises.
Yep. Should be a good time. So Toph's going to start us out. What is your number 10? I'm excited.
My number 10 is going to be a surprise for you.
Okay.
This is a newer game for you.
Okay.
You have played it. And it is a game that I had played before Brad played it. It's an engine builder. And the more I play this game, the more I love this game.
If this is what I think it is, I would have thought it was way higher on your list. Oh!
Number 10, see, I told you, surprise already. Number 10 for me is Everdell.
It's a great game.
It is a great game.
It's a great game.
I will tell you, the first time I played this game, I did not like it. Did not like it at all. It was one of those, like, I'll play it because my friend had it, and I wanted to like it. I wanted to like it so much. Mm-hmm. It takes playing it a couple times, and especially because if you have a game where you get no resources, you're done. So you have to have that in there, but the more I play the game, the more I see how beautiful the cards play together, the more I see how you can have a little bit of take that action in it, but it's very much you're building your own tableau. It's beautiful. The artwork is beautiful. It just plays well as a game, and it plays well with people of all abilities and playing levels too. So Everdell is my number 10 game.
I think it's the best, might be the best worker placement intro game I've come across, and I'm gonna pawn off another video. R and I just did a playthrough of this. It'll probably be up by the time this video's up in the future. It's always weird doing this, like what day is that gonna post? But that's a great game. It was very good.
Glad I could surprise you with my number.
Yeah, that is that I was really worried that what I thought was a much higher game was going to be your number 10. I'm like, what happened? All right, so my number 10, you probably won't be too surprised with it, is The Loop. I like this game. This game is cute. This game is cooperative. I know you're a big Pandemic fan. I can't say I'm a big Pandemic fan, but this gives you that like anxiety that, oh, we gotta win, right? And in a fun way, the fun cards, the fun characters, you know, the meeples are a little screwy at times too. I think this is fun. If you ever liked the Loki series, this kind of is that whole trying to save the timeline, you know, in a board game. This came out before the Loki series. It's, you know, a trope, and as my dogs are barking, you know, it's just one of those things, right? But I really like this. I know it's kind of been hit and miss on the radar, but I recommend it. Check it out if you like cooperative games and you don't want to get into too much analysis paralysis, but The Loop is my number 10.
Also great if you like humor. That's a funny game.
Yeah. The what was it? The underwear?
Yeah, the underwear. Supersonic underwear or something like that.
Yeah. Did you think you were going to go on a top 10 list and start hearing about somebody talk about underwear, right?
Welcome to Bad at Board Games. So, shall we move on?
We shall.
Number 9. Number 9 is one of my, God, I love this game. Absolute favorite games. I have played so many.
Catan.
Right.
It's an inside joke. Watch one of the other videos.
I don't think you've played this yet.
Is this the 8-hour one?
This is the 8-hour game. So this is Arkham Horror 2nd Edition. The game itself, it can be over in a minute. It can be over, and I've had 10-hour games where we've not yet finished it. It is a cooperative game where pretty much you are going to die. Cthulhu, or one of the Elder Gods, is coming to destroy the city of Arkham. We have to investigate it. It is... You take insanity, you take health damage, you fight monsters, you spawn new monsters. There's gates you can go through and explore other worlds. There's so much to do in this game. It's a great game for me. I love cooperatives. I also love the Cthulhu mythos, H.P. Lovecraft. This game is phenomenal. It's not for everyone. I know there's many other games that have come after it that's kind of tried to clean it up and make it less fiddly, but there's something about second edition that I just adore. So Arkham Horror in the Cthulhu series, one of my absolute favorites.
I really would have thought that would have been a much bigger box.
Right?
It's an 8-hour game. I'm thinking like, oh, Twilight Imperium, freaking gigantic Arkham Horror box. That's way smaller than I would have thought.
It's a smaller box, smaller than Death May Die.
Yeah.
There's a lot more in the box than Death May Die,
Right.
But it is such a good game. So
Very cool.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised to see a Cthulhu on your top 10.
we'll see if Cthulhu comes back on my top 10.
Yeah, maybe. All right. My number 9. This is going to surprise you, I think.
Okay.
5
On your top 10.
on my top 10.
Holy cow.
This is a great freaking game.
Yes.
Like, so if you've been watching any of my stuff up to date, you know I like filler games, and I don't want to give anything away. Go check them out. You can. There's timestamps on everything. You can skip around whatever you want. This is the best filler game out, hands down. I would have never ever bought this if it wasn't for this guy. Like, we played it one time and I had to buy this. Like,
You were hooked instantly.
I bought it as we were finishing our first game.
Yeah, you did. You did.
And I had to get the carbon one because he's like, oh yeah, the carbon one is like some special whatever. I'm like, okay, I got to get that even because I wanted the.
Yeah, full black and white, so it's got no color in it as opposed to the version I have as color.
Everything is the white with the black bugs or black with the white bugs.
Yeah.
I like this game.
I knew this would be on your top 40, or I assumed it would be on your top 40. I never thought it would be on your top 40.
Yeah, that's how much I like it. This is, and you know, I'll say this a lot. I can't say enough about this game. I can't say enough about a lot of the games I like, but definitely being able to get something to the table. Me and him, we'll sit down, we'll play 2 or 3 games back to back to back. That's a tribute of a great game.
It is. And one thing I like about this, we joke a lot about Brad being bad at board games, which is true. But we, in our plays of this, we're pretty even.
Yeah, it's probably 60-40, 55-45, something like that.
But the first couple times when we first played, I think we played 3 games. I think I won 2 or 3 of the first 3 games. But since then, and it hasn't taken a lot to...
No.
We've not been playing it for very long together, but you have picked up very quick to the point that this is such a fun, challenging, let's sit down and spend, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, sometimes maybe up to 10, and trying new strategies. God, I'm surprised it's on your top 10, but I knew it would be on your top 40.
Yeah.
It's such a good game.
This is a great game. Hive, if you haven't checked it out, like I said, this is one of those prove me wrong games. I've seen this as bugs in Barnes & Noble and different places. I'm like, there's no way a bug domino. Seriously? I was wrong.
I kind of describe it, I think a lot of people describe it like chess. I think dominoes works well. Bug domino, bug chess, I don't know.
Well, and I don't think it's like either. So if you like Azul and you like the weight of those and you like thinking, you'll probably like Hive. They're not the same, but there's just something about it. I'm just blown away by the game.
Yeah, I support it.
So number 8.
Awesome, number 8. This is one that I don't think you have played as well.
Okay.
So it might surprise you a little bit. Talk about a worker placement. This is probably one of my favorite introduction to worker placement games.
Oh yeah, I want to play this.
And it is Lords of Waterdeep. I'm kind of surprised, honestly, that it came up on my top 10 when I did my rankings. I knew it would be close to that. But the more that I think about this, and especially with the Scoundrels of Skullport expansion, this is a beautiful worker placement game.
Yeah.
And it's fun. If you like D&D, you can get into that D&D feel. It is a D&D game. But you go on quests, you recruit workers and just kind of really get your victory points. It's a lot of points here and there. But the beauty of the worker placement actions. The ability to get into a theme is also very good with it. I have some upgrades. If you do have this game, upgrade the cubes to little meeples so that it feels like you're actually recruiting workers as opposed to just cubes. And definitely get the Scoundrels of Skullport expansion because it adds a lot of complexity to it for gamers. But as a base, if I were to introduce somebody who's never played board games and I want to get them into worker placement, this is the one that I'm probably pulling off my shelf, and I enjoy it. Even being a gamer, even without the expansion, I still enjoy the game. It's just a good game.
Yeah, and we've meant to play this game, and it's kind of going to be the second or third game of the night that we play, and then that first and second game go longer, and then we're never able to get to Lords of the Waterdeep. But it's been one of those. I've always seen the box. I've always wanted to play it. I've always wanted to come back to it, and just never had a chance. And since I know he has it, now I just keep waiting for us to find our chance.
We will. There's a lot of other great worker placements out there, so it's kind of hard sometimes to figure out which one am I going to go for. But do yourself a favor if you've not played it, give it a try.
Very cool. Very cool. All right, my number 8, and we have played this, and I won.
Uh-oh.
Gaia Project. Yes, thank you. Who won?
Brad won.
You don't
I will take the defeat on that.
Yeah, you don't hear that very often. So it's not like I'm trying to trash him or make him feel bad. It's just you don't hear it very often. So I might as well brag about it a little bit every once in a while. This is a great game. It is not an easy learn. John Gets Games, I found, has the best teach of it because he does a how to play through, and there's the first hour, and don't fall asleep already on me, is learning the game, but then the second hour it's turn 2 and turn 3 where you learn a few more things about it. I think this is Twilight Imperium light ish. So only from the standpoint of you have so many factions. Twilight Imperium has so many factions, so it takes that aspect of it, and then but there's no battle. There's zero battle. It's all building and manipulating and going for different goals that come out every time that show up, right? So this is a really great game.
Yeah.
I really like it. And really for the price, this is under $100. I think this is $75.
Oh, is it that?
It's for the price and what you get out of this.
Yeah.
It's hard to beat.
And it
really is hard to beat.
A good improvement on another game, Terra Mystica.
Mm-hmm.
I will say theme-wise, I feel like I would enjoy Terra Mystica a little bit more than Gaia Project, but Gaia Project did improve on some fiddliness of Terra Mystica, and I was impressed with it. It's possibly not on my top 10. Possibly might be on my top 40. I don't know. You don't know yet. But it is a great game. I support that one. I'm kind of surprised it's on your top 10, but I support it.
Yeah, I like it. So, and I would say if you're Star Wars, Gaia Project. If you're Lord of the Rings,
feel like more fantasy. Yeah. It's going to be, do you want to play with trolls or do you want to play with aliens?
Yeah. So. And if you watch some of the other videos and where I started talking about that, I'm the space guy. Without a doubt.
That's a good game.
That's my number 8?
It's number 8.
Number 8.
Good game.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna have to play again so I can win. You got that game. That was one of the things I liked about it. I struggled through it, and you were just like, oh my god, this is beautiful. Wait, watch this. Let me do this. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like a step behind the whole way through the game. And then my score was a whole lot more than a step behind. It was bad. Good game. Okay, number 7.
Number 7.
For this one, we're gonna go to another worker placement.
You're the worker placement man.
I do like worker placement. I'm not gonna lie. This is another beautiful game. I have done a video on it, so you can see that in the channel as well. But it is Viticulture, Stonemaier Games. And especially if you're adding into it the Tuscany expansion, that's going to add a little bit of complexity to it as well. Another beautiful worker placement game.
It's real tight.
Yeah.
I think this is a great intro. Another great intro game to worker placement. It's so tight and so clean.
Yeah. It's a beautiful board. It's a beautiful game. This is going to take complexity up a little bit from Lords of Waterdeep, so you're going to get a little bit more complexity to it. Again, good for players of all abilities, but just a beautiful. You're making wine. There's not a whole lot of take that, but there's it plays well. A little bit of resource management, tableau building ish.
And you've got it's just summer and winter. It's 2 seasons.
You're playing in the base game. You're playing through the 2 main seasons, and so you have your summer actions, your winter actions, and in the fall and the spring you're doing some kind of cleanup. Now, if you end up going with the Tuscany expansion, you're playing across all 4 seasons. So instead of only having the 2 seasons to do actions, you got to spend your workers over all 4. A little bit more challenging, a little more complex.
And it's really neat because you have your own tableau. I don't know if you have a tableau in Lords of Waterdeep, but you kind of have in Everdale. You have your own tableau-ish where you're building out your cards and your city, but you don't really capitalize it after you've placed them. This one is really nice because you are continuing to use that tableau. It's continuing to do something for you.
Yep.
Your wine is aging every year. You can put it in the cellar, and how you get to build more plots of land. You can destroy your plots of land, do something else.
Yeah.
So the tableau aspect of it, along with the main board where you're placing your workers, it gives it that extra depth.
Yeah,
I think
there's a lot more engine building in this. Not Terraform. Lords of Waterdeep. Lords of Waterdeep does not have that engine building side of it so much. There's a little bit of resource management that you have going for you, but your quests are not going to give you a lot of ongoing effects, whereas this is. So what you choose to upgrade is going to give you benefits, and how and when you choose to sell plots or buy new plots, or with Tuscany add in new buildings that are outside of the gate, it really does help a little. It does help. So Viticulture, great game to pick.
Absolutely a great game. Let's see, what do we have next? All right, this might be my 3rd highest played game in the last 6 months. It's okay. It's probably it might be my 2nd number of plays because it's really new, but I've still played it like a lot. Everybody I bring this to is like, everybody keeps wanting to play it. There it is.
I was going to ask if it had to do with cows.
No, because everybody's played it.
Okay.
So the cow one that only you played. Oh, there's only a couple of us played,
true.
Actually.
Goodness gracious, what have we played a lot of? My mind is going blank. Is it The Hunger?
No.
Okay.
All right. You ready?
Apparently, I am bad at guessing. Oh, yes.
Hadrian's Wall.
Yes.
I just played this yesterday.
I wasn't even thinking rolling rights.
Yeah.
Holy cow, good game.
This is the best flip and right. You chain, you get more rewards. How clever can you be? I just got my highest score yesterday.
Congratulations.
Did
you win?
I did not.
I didn't think so.
Liam beat me by a couple points.
But 4 games, y'all.
Yeah.
4 games.
But it's not the most difficult thing to learn. What it is overwhelming when you're looking at it. So you have to think of it as a bunch of mini games, and you get tons of paper. So you're gonna have more paper than you're ever gonna play this game. So the whole point of throwing your papers away after you play the game, don't worry about that. But I think it was $50.
It's right now. It's sitting on Amazon about $47.
So great for $47. Takes an hour to play. You would think it's group solitaire. However, it's not. Somehow there's interaction going on because you're sitting there talking about, oh, I got to do this and I got to do that. And I get a brick and I get a meeple and I get a soldier. And it's weird because you look at this game and you think, absolutely no way. My son soloed this. He liked it so much. So,
this is a gamer's game. So while it is a roll and write or a flip and write, it does have a lot of complexity to it. And there's a little bit of interaction because you do have the ability to trade. You can use people.
Well, you're looking at their cards. You're not really.
Well, you're giving them bricks for.
Yes, if you do that. Yeah.
But it is such a good game.
It is a good game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think of, it's the Australian couple, something Meeple. They had a decent walkthrough of this. I may actually do a walkthrough of this. You can play this solo. You can play with, sit there and walk somebody through. After about a couple turns, they'll get it. And then it's just off the races. And then it's like, oh, I want to play that again, and I want to try to beat my score. And I want to try to beat my score. And I want to try to beat my score again. It's not just, oh, it's a flipping right. Yeah. No. This is game.
This is a board game.
But you can get new people into it. It's crazy. I mean, it's that reward system. You can get 10 rewards in one turn. And you get that little endorphin, and it just keeps rolling and rolling and rolling. Now, I think this will move out of my top 10 next year, because if you play something so much, it will. But I hadn't played it in probably a week. I mean, this is constantly getting pulled out, and it went like, oh, this is fun. And I got burnt out on it because I probably played it multiple times in 1 week. But then 10 days go by, and I want to get my son involved. I want to get my girlfriend involved. Come back to this, and it was like, oh yeah, I remember why I like this game.
Yeah, that's a great game.
Yeah, that's where we're at.
I support it.
And where are we at? We are now down to your number 6.
I'm down to my number 6, and I do not own my number 6. Another worker placement.
You have 10 worker placements.
There's a theme in this. This is the game, Brad, that you own.
I own.
It's got some engine building to it. It's got a lot of mini deck builder. Goodness gracious, so many great things. And I think you have it down beside you. I'm thinking and hoping it's on your top 10.
Okay.
But I'm going to need to borrow it. I'm going to give you one clue so you can pick it up. You ready?
Yeah.
Move!
Watch the video. That's funny.
The video. Great Western Trail, y'all. This game is surprising. There was a lot of hype about it, especially with the new edition that came out, second edition came out. I had been thinking about first edition and had not pulled the trigger on it because it's not a theme I thought I would like at all.
Well, and it's expensive now. Well, before this came out, it was
out of print. So
yeah, they were charging way too much for it.
There is so much going on in this game as well. This is one of those, like you say with Adrian's Wall, it's a game within a game. You've got different things that you can do. You have somewhat area control. You're building buildings, so you're putting out on the board in locations, which is blocking other people from doing abilities or slowing down the game a bit. It's worker placement because you got to figure out where you're putting yours. Of course, it's not worker placement; it's trail you're going on.
Yeah, you're not really
blocking people. Yeah. No. So maybe that's a bad example of it, but
however, you can block people on the train path. So that's the thing about it. You've got a little bit of worker placement, a little bit of deck builder, definitely, but you're getting rid of your cards. You've got a tableau. You have it. There's a lot.
You're definitely building an engine. You're getting workers. You're using your workers to do things for you. There's a lot going on in it, but it is a beautiful game. It's not the prettiest game on the table. At least it's not the artwork. It's not the theme that I would necessarily gravitate to. I like the fantasy side more, but it is beautiful. It's just every time we've played it, I have just fallen in love with it more and more and more. So, Great Western Trail. That is my number 6. Yeah.
And watch Shut Up and Sit Down's tale of this, so to speak. That's what hooked me, and I've said this a bunch of other games. I got this at Gen Con. This was the first game I beelined to the booth to get this game, and it is not disappointing. So.
Yeah, I would own it. In fact, especially with the new edition coming out, I had settled that I was going to get the old one, but the fact that you have it, I'm not running out to add it to my shelf yet, but it is on my list, and so I'm not going to be upset if somebody were to gift it to me, or if I find a good deal on it, I'm going to pick it up. There's other games I want to add first because you do own it and I get to play it with you, but it's great. Yeah. I love it.
It is a great game. I like it. Will we see it again? We don't know. So my number 6. I like this game. This is my highest quality game. It is by far the best components, the most expensive. So not including Warhammer 40K. This is probably one of the most expensive games I own.
Do I get to guess?
You can guess.
Is it Star Wars?
No,
Oh.
it is not.
Ah, yes.
It's Kanban EV. So when he said worker placement at his number 6, I thought he was going to say this one because I'm like, this has worker placement. This doesn't have the deck builder though, but we have cards. So it's kind of, I'm like, I wasn't like, is he going to pick Kanban EV or what? So I like this game. This game was a beast to learn.
It sat on your table for how long?
Well, not that long. I wanted to learn how to play it before I tried to teach it to you, right? I think the rule set actually is fairly decent, where the rule set falls apart. And we did a playthrough of this just to kind of, maybe you could see how some of the things mesh. It's not a teach, but more of a, hey, this is why I'm doing this is why I'm doing this, and you could see us move pieces around. So, and there's timestamps in it if you have any interest in that at all. It's 2 hours long, so I get it if you don't. But
you should watch it because somebody wins and somebody loses. I'm
yeah,
gonna say who.
yeah, you probably lost. Just check it out to see if it's
Apparently I'm bad at board games.
see if it's a surprise. But I know we've only played it a couple times, but these are my rules. I make them up as I go. I would rather play this than every other game that I've told you about. So, and this is a heavy game. You can play this in a couple hours once you get to know it. It's got a little bit of take that. It's got worker placement. You really have to think ahead, and there's so many things going on.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Great Western Trail in that standpoint, but this is it's clean, it's tight, and if you're not paying attention, you lose. Like, you know, there's these things going on, but you can't miss a beat for the meetings. Like, the meetings are definitely a thing, right? Kind of like the cows are a thing in Great Western Trail.
Yeah.
Everything else points out itself, and this is points out. That surprised me. Like, over 100 points. Where'd you get? Like 150 points this last time, or more?
It was.
Or 180?
It was up there.
I think we were both over
Yeah.
150.
Yeah, I think
It was a lot. Like, that was not what I was expecting. Not what I was expecting, but I will be getting more Lacerda games just because of this.
Yeah.
I got this as a Christmas gift, so I didn't have to spend but I'll probably be spending my own money on a couple more of these.
We've been talking about Lacerda games, and actually you've been laughing about some of the other YouTubers that I really enjoy watching, and they're doing top 10s as well, and their top 10 list, like half of it is Lacerda games.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, that's why I like them. That's worker placement, you know, it's all these things, these mechanics that just are done such in a beautiful way that his games are genius. And so I'm hooked on it. This is a great game, and I can't wait to get some of this.
And there's interaction. Like, it takes a little, it seems like it takes a little bit of everything. It's some take that. It's some tableau. It's some, you know, moving these pieces all around the board. And then you have Sandra, and she's a bitch.
She's a bitch. She is. Yeah, she's a bitch.
So that is my number 6.
Nice.
So how are you? What's your philosophy on how you're ranking your games? Because everybody has different ways of doing it. So what's yours?
I did. It was kind of fun for me. I was gonna do Pub Meeple. I love Pub Meeple's ranking engine on their website, and so that was my first goal. But before I did that, I actually went to my shelf and went through my app to see all my gameplays and decided to do my top 50. Well, I did my top 100 that way. So I was like, okay, let's look at all my games. What are the top 100 out of it? And then I did Pub Meeple, and I looked at them and actually surprised myself because my opinion of this game is higher than this actually was not how I said if I was given a chance today.
What would you play? Yeah.
So I went with Pub Meeple's rankings, but I did make a couple changes to them here or there. One of those changes is because it's a couple games that I haven't really played. I know the mechanics of it. I have seen it played enough. We haven't been able to pull it to the table yet. And I was like, you know what? For this ranking, I'm taking those games out of it. This is only games that I've played. But it's still, if I were to choose this or this, what game do I want to play today? That's my list.
Yeah. And I explained this in some of my other videos. It's the feeling that I get when I play the game. It is how often it can get to the table. It's the experience that I have. It's how much I enjoy it and how much people around me are enjoying it. So there's a few games, if you look, it's just, and there go my dogs again. You know, it's the whole thing. And I've got heavier games on this top 10 than some of my other ones. But you saw it was high, right? This gets to the table. This gets.
I've got Lords of Waterdeep. So
Yeah,
yeah.
You know, so I did use Pub Meeple as well, but then I wasn't gonna just be like, oh yeah, this algorithm's completely right. I'm like, I know what I like, I know what I want to bring to the table, and so that way I adjusted things. But these are the games that if I would want to push these on everybody if I could.
For my top 10, that's definitely the way. Now, I will say later in the list, which you don't know yet, what my 21 to 40 is.
Right.
There are a couple games that are on there for nostalgia reasons. Will I ever want to play them again? Maybe, maybe not.
Right.
But because of the time that I have had playing it with my friends, like, for example, Arkham Horror. That game brings so many memories just seeing the box, because we have had so many nights of arguing and bickering and fighting with each other and just it's just that's why we're in this hobby. You know,
Absolutely.
So that's how I got my lists.
Nice.
So.
Well done. How did you get your list? What's your philosophy? What do you think, and how do you rank your top 10? Tell us what your top 10 is. That would be very cool. We've got a few of you talking to us. Let's keep it going. What's your top 5? What's your top 10? I'd really like to know. Awesome. So moving on to your number 5.
Top 5 games.
I'm excited.
You're going to know what my top 5 is.
All right.
I don't think there's any surprises for you on it.
On any of them, or this number?
On 5. On my
number
top
5.
There may be
like which way they
who's 5 versus who's 1.
Okay.
But I think you know what they all are. I don't even have to go to my list. I don't know why I'm looking at it anyways. Number 5 is a game that is cooperative.
Okay.
I'm going to let you guess what these are. It's cooperative. It's a game that we have played
Lots?
a handful of times.
I'd say Cthulhu Death May Die.
It is Cthulhu Death May Die.
We just played this. We literally just got done playing this.
We just lost this game.
We got so freaking close.
Down
so
to
close.
pretty much one turn.
If we'd have had one more, if we.
It always happens that way. So I'm obsessed with the Cthulhu mythos. I've mentioned that several times on this channel, and in fact in this video. This game is everything that you want to love about any of the Cthulhu games, added with beautiful miniatures, which now are painted and look so amazing. But it plays in an hour and a half, 2 hours. So instead of sitting down like with Arkham Horror for a 6-hour game, an 8-hour game, or even just being obliterated in 2, this one we can sit down and within an hour, hour and a half, probably die. So it works. But it plays well. It is cooperative, so you are bantering with each other. It does have player elimination. I thought that would scare me away from it. But all of the games really do. However, like with Arkham Horror, you can respawn as a different character, so it's not like you're out the rest of the time.
But this one is you're out.
This one you're out. However, as we have played, most of the time somebody has been kicked out. And because we are friends, because
was that a little thumb at me?
Oh, sorry. I didn't know you caught that. You don't. Sorry, you do. You die first.
I didn't die this time.
You did not. None of us died this time.
Yep.
I almost did.
But we still
lost. This is a game that even if you're kicked out, I think it's easy enough, provided you know the play group, to stay in it. And I think any of the times that anybody has been eliminated, we have continued playing that game, and all of us have played. And that eliminated player is giving feedback. They're enjoying it just the same. It's beautiful. It's fun. It's frustrating. Today we were arguing around the table. We don't do that very often, but my God, we were fighting at the table. But at the same time, we were all smiling and enjoying it. So
we were basically like, "No, this is what you should do." We all wanted to do the best thing. It wasn't like, but it was just funny. There's a lot of bickering.
I kind of thought this would be higher on my list, just based on how I was ranking them myself.
I thought it would be higher on your list.
I did. I think what brought this down is, for one, the replayability of the other games that are higher than it. And the fact that I don't yet have Season 2. There's a lot of replayability with this game, but it is going to be, eventually, I think, kind of the same. Yeah. So the more we play, there's new characters, but I think it will get a little bit repetitive. But for now, I mean, top 5, I could put it anywhere. Top 1, 1 all the way down to 5 slot. It's going to be the same. We're going to keep playing it. It's an amazing game. It's never leaving my collection.
And the minis look amazing.
The minis. He painted them. I wanted to, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll help you with that." And the next time I saw him, he was like, "Look at all these amazing, like, stunning pieces that aren't even going to go back in the box when I take it home."
It's the only reason I did create a TikTok. Don't laugh. But if you want to see some of the minis, just go on there, and I've got different levels of those getting painted.
I almost brought some up just to hold them up while we were doing this, but yeah, Cthulhu Death May Die. That's my number 5.
Cool. Let's see. Where am I with my number 5? All right. I'll give you a hint. Dun, 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 dun.
Bring back the Star Wars.
I'm the space guy. I've seen Star Wars a whole lot. This is Star Wars in a box, and if you've seen any reviews about this game, the ending of this game makes you feel like the original Star Wars back in the 70s ending. That's all I can say. Whether you win as the Rebels or lose, or you win as the Empire, you're like, like you can rewrite history, or you get to do the final shot. That feeling nothing will surpass that. There's a game that gave me a better feeling than this, but this, and like I said, I don't get to play this much. It's not about getting it to the table, but that gameplay will stick with you almost like the first time I saw Star Wars. That's how ingrained it is. That's how great. I had this game. This game got purchased for my son when he was young for the miniatures to play with. Had nothing to do with the game. I'm like, he wanted the miniatures. I'm like, I'm not going to play this game for 2 hours or whatever it is. And finally pulled this out, and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. This is just truly an amazing game. If you have a chance to play it, it's a 2-player game. It is not, I know they say 3 or 4. No, this is a 2-player game. You as Rebels or you as the Empire against somebody else. And it's not really a space battle. Like, I went into this like as the Rebels building up and trying to do all it. It's not a space battle. It's just not. It's the movie. This makes me want to play the Lord of the Rings game, but I'm worried about playing the Lord of the Rings game just because it's another one. Like, I got to learn that. It's going to be long, and for the money, am I going to get? But man, if the experience of that game, which is what they say, is anything like this, yeah, probably one of these days I'm going to have to sink myself into that game just because it's a stellar game.
I'm not surprised this is on your top 5.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, this is a great game.
I like it.
Your turn, sir.
My number 4, we have actually already talked about.
Okay.
You have talked about it, obviously not me.
All right. So I am surprised.
You are you?
Yeah.
Huh. I have won every time I've played it. Which I've only played it twice.
Oh.
Has to do with a bitch. I mean, it has to do with building cars.
I am surprised this is this high.
Is it really?
Yeah.
It is, go figure, a worker placement game.
Ish.
So go ahead and, if you want to pull it up, we're not going to talk about it, but might as well show it because it's such a beautiful box.
You can talk about it a little bit.
We've already talked about it. It's beautiful on the table. The components are great. The gameplay is so well thought out.
Mm-hmm.
It is an engineered game. Like, everything is thought out in it. For example, with Great Western Trail, there's a lot going on with it, but I feel like there's a lot of disconnect between the train game and the buildings and the trail that you're going down.
Mm-hmm.
With Kanban EV, I can't say that there's anything that's disconnected. Everything just plays so well together. And while I've only played it a couple times, I don't know if I'm going to tire of this game. Yeah. It is something that I want to play. Like, I want to play it right now. That's it's beautiful. It's great.
Yeah. So to me, I love the theme. I know everybody like, oh, Mars and all that. So this is where I'm not a space guy. So I'm an engineer. I'm an engineering manager. I have been in automotive. I have set up Kanban systems and lean systems. Like, this is everything in a theme. I'm like, oh, I want this game. I know a lot of people are like, God, this theme is so
Yeah, the
boring.
theme doesn't do it for me.
Yeah.
I mean, not that I'm opposed to it, but the theme does nothing
Yeah.
for me. It's the gameplay.
But if you are into cars, if you know, like, those are some things, like, if you have any interest in that stuff and like Euro games, this should be on your short list. It really should be. It's
There's a lot going on. It's heavy, but man, is it fun.
it's worth the teach.
Yeah, it is.
It is worth the teach. Okay.
So that's my number 4.
I'm pretty impressed. I am pretty impressed. I think I know what my number 4 is, but I gotta double check. Yes. So, along with my theme of movies, I guess,
Okay.
I think this is my best gaming experience. And it's where I beat my son at this game. Because it ended so well. It's so thematic.
I have not played this yet.
Yeah. This game, I locked my son out of the space pod or whatever and launched myself at the end to win and let him blow up with shit. It was so perfect. It was so absolutely perfect. And you can probably hear my dogs, and I think the trash truck's out there. Sometimes it's like 6 o'clock at 7 o'clock at night or whatever. Just really appreciate him backing up now. but you can have this trader mechanic, or you can't. And I know everybody's like, this game plays better with co-op, and I could see this being a fun co-op game. Don't get me wrong, but the end, I could see where people just get to the escape pod and leave halfway through the game, and then that would be boring. But being the trader at the very end, at that last second, was so thematic. It was so just like, you know, Sigourney Weaver and all the Alien games, and this is Alien in a box. Let's not get me wrong. They just don't have to pay the IP for it. I love all those movies. All of those. And this was just like, I got this card and I could be a trader. I think it's halfway through. It's hard for me to remember now. But it was just like, I can do this. And like my objective at the end was to make sure nobody else got off the ship. So, but I didn't want to do that at the beginning. I didn't want to, you know, you have to get all the stuff done. And so then I was able to close the door on him.
Your own son.
It was amazing.
Your own son.
I like Take That games.
Notice I don't have a lot of Take That games on my list.
It was awesome. It was absolutely awesome. Leave my son in deep space to die.
There you go. Father of the Year right there. Hope you got the mug. Oh. This one's going to surprise you, I think.
All right.
So we're on our top 3, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you think my top 3 is? What do you think my number 3 is?
Grass.
You're wrong.
Ooh.
I am surprised by this because I thought this would have been my number 1 slot,
Okay.
and it's not. And it is Scythe. I adore Scythe. I know you don't. I know this is not necessarily your favorite game. I don't think you mind it, but I know it's not your favorite. I love everything about this game. The theme, I love. The artwork is beautiful. The gameplay is...
It's probably, I think this is the best artwork of any board game. I think because the artwork came before the board.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah, the game came out of the artwork.
The artist is...
It's just... It has so many mechanics that all play well together. It's not necessarily Take That. There's a little bit of that in there. There can be a little bit of that in there. It's not a war game. It's so much. I mean, it's...
I don't think you can explain it. It's just Scythe. It is Scythe.
So if you've never played it, pick it up. Stonemeyer Games. You can find it online. Stonemeyer is going to be about $90 on Amazon right now. It's about $50. But resources, you know, you can upgrade your pieces. It just gives it such this thematic feel that you're there, that you're in it. It's worth it. The campaigns are great if you get that far into it. I love everything about Scythe.
And you just got the big box of this, right?
I just got the legendary box, yeah. So I have all the expansions. I have all of Scythe, and finally, legendary box has been out of stock. I got that email, and that day, it was getting ready to be shipped to me.
Yeah.
So,
and if you want to learn about the mechanic that's in this, because it is kind of hard, it's Scythe, right? Villainous.
Yeah, so a big part of this game is action selection, and if you are familiar with Villainous, the action selection kind of feels that same way at the bottom in terms of what you're doing.
Yeah,
what action
the mechanic.
Yeah,
There's
the
so much more in this than Villainous,
Yeah.
so don't confuse the
there's-
two, but if you kind of like that mechanic.
Yeah, it's a map, dudes on map style. You have your pieces that you're putting out. You're building an engine. There's area control. There's a little bit of battle. I mean, there's a lot of mechanics that are in it. It's not luck driven, so that's one thing I do love about it. Your actions are going to impact you one way or another. It's a 4x game. I know a lot of people argue that, but it is 4x. So you do have the exploration. You do have the extermination. You do have the expansion. You have the exploitation of resources. You have a little bit of each of those in the game. It's great.
Yep.
It's phenomenal. Yeah.
Yep, that doesn't surprise me. It's where it is.
Number 3. Yeah.
But it doesn't surprise me it's on your top 5.
Yes, no, not at all. I thought it was gonna be number 1.
Yeah.
I did, but no, it's number 3. I will never say no to playing.
So I don't own my number 3.
Okay. Do I?
Yes.
Okay.
So
I know what it is. I don't. Maybe I don't.
go ahead.
No, that's okay.
Grass.
Yep.
This is an awesome game. Yes. This is I think we were talking about it because we both wanted to play it, and we own most of the top 10. Or top 15-ish, right? On BGG. And I think in us talking about it is what got you to pull the trigger on it, right?
Yeah, it had been on my list for a while, and it was one of those. It's expensive. I guess I could have got
But
the
you got
base
it.
game.
You got it at a great price.
I did. I got it straight from Roxley.
Yeah.
And I went with the deluxe version, which I knew I needed to. I deluxify my games. I pimp out my games. So I did. I got a great deal on it. It was sitting there with the do I purchase or not because of the price, and then I found it on the publisher's website, and it no brainer. And I'm so glad I bought this game.
And yeah, so if you see it on Amazon and such, it's like 120, 150 bucks. And you got it for
I got it for 90.
Yeah, and this is the deluxe version, so don't go to Amazon for this. Like this game made me start realizing, go to the manufacturer, see if they sell it first before you go to Amazon
Local gaming source.
or your game store. Yeah. This one I never see though.
No, I have not. We've had 3
Never
main
see it.
gaming stores close-ish to us, and this one has never been at them that I have seen. Yeah. So it's your number 3.
It is my number
Why?
3.
Tell
So
me why.
this is right now it's the ultimate cube pusher, in my opinion. And it's not so complicated that you just get lost in it, right? It is, and whatever reason, my brain works really well with this. Now, and I've gotten to the point where I'm like, I think I'm gonna win. I might not. We had one where he beat me like by 5 points, which is pretty close, I think, in this game, right? So you have 2 phases. You feel like you want more at the end. So like, oh, I wish I would have just had one more turn. I wish I would have and anytime you want one more movie or one more bite of dessert or one more something, that means it was great. Like, you didn't want that to end, and it's good that it did end because it didn't overstay its welcome. It's almost that perfect balance of, wow, I really wanted one more turn, and you think about that, and it's like that's a perfect place to be in a game, I think. And this is a beautiful game. I'm looking forward to you getting the other one, Lancaster. Pop them on to you, sir. And it's nice. If you like Euros at all, this is just going to be one of those games that you're going to want to experience, because to me, I think this epitomizes the best in every Euro.
Yeah. It's
I don't know how to explain it other than that.
one of the things I love about it is that it's a thinker. It's a brain burner. It has a very high complexity rating on BGG, and I agree with that. Brad does not. I agree with it for the sake of you not just can plan out moves ahead. You have to plan out moves ahead. You have to be able to think so many turns in advance in order to be successful in it, and that's where there's a lot to manage.
But you only have 2 actions. So the reason I guess I disagree with it, one, I don't think it's hard to learn. So like, compared to Kanban, that was heavy. That's freaking hard to learn and bring it all together. This is easy to learn. It really is not that hard to learn. You get 2 cards, you get to play those 2 actions, you actually get to take a loan so you can have money. You take negative points for it, but some of those things is just not hard to learn. Chess is a hard game, but it's not hard to learn. So I can get the fact that it may be hard to win the game, but it's not heavy in the standpoint of like, I don't understand what's going on, or I don't, it's laid out in front of me. Now, like I said, my brain works with this game.
Mine too. We have a lot of similarities in games because of that. I think I've got a math mind. You're an engineer. Yeah. It works. There are intricacies that it does take some time to put together. I think the idea of teaching it is pretty easy. It's easy to learn, but it's hard to master. Yeah. It is.
Which makes it a great game.
Yeah.
That in and of itself is like, you keep playing this because I want to beat my score. Or I keep wanting to get a little better. And I'm going to try this. I'm going to try the, pottery stuff, and I'm going to try the buildings and sell off. And it changes enough that it's
beautiful.
Yeah.
It's great.
Okay. And we're on to your number 2.
We're on to my number 2. And my number 2 is Brass Birmingham.
Is it?
It is. Yeah. So, God, I'm glad I shocked you. Yes, we've already talked about it, so we're not going to talk about it again. But yeah, this is my number 2. I'm never going to turn down this game. I'm never going to get rid of this game. It's great. It's great. It's not for everyone. I don't think I'd want to play it with everyone. But my goodness.
I'm looking forward to playing it at 4. We've had it at 3.
Yeah.
I really want to do the 4-player experience and see how much take that ends up happening.
Yeah, with only 2, one thing that's nice, they do scale it. So if you're playing 2 people, you can only use the lower about 2/3 of the board.
Yep.
You play a third person, adds a little bit more into it. Play 4, it adds the next into it. But that doesn't mean that you are confined to any area.
Right.
And so I think there will be quite a bit of take that. I think it's going to get harder to find your routes and where you're going, what's going to be in network, what you're going to do, what you're going to use. I think that's going to add some good complexity to it. Maybe take the feel of how high of a complex game it is to where it actually is ranked.
Yeah. That could be.
Number 2.
Number 2. So my number 2 we've already talked about.
Okay. Should I pull one?
What do you think it is?
I think it's going to be Cthulhu Death May Die.
I think you're right. I really like this game. This is fun. I saw this at Gen Con 3 years ago now, I think, because I didn't have it 2 years ago. And I really wanted to play it then. And I sat down and played it at the demo in the CMON booth, and I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. And I think playing demos at Gen Con, or I almost just need to buy the game and play with my group of friends or people I like to play with, because every time I sit down and do a demo at Gen Con, you don't have that same feeling. You're just kind of like, okay, or some other games. I can't remember what the dumb name everybody was raving about. I'm just like, I hate this game. This is horrible. But I really didn't like this. I didn't like the player elimination. I think that could be the teach and not understanding how to continue to stay alive and things like that. But with people that you like to be around with, anyway, this is an amazing game. And we never argue. We really don't. We freaking argue about this game. And Toph's over there sitting like trying to be like, I really want to tell you all to shut up right now.
I think I did at one point. I was like, I didn't think.
But this is fun. It is really fun. Is it a Amerithrash? Yeah, it's a Amerithrash. And it's a Amerithrash in all its freaking glory. And it's co-op. So you may, like this last game we played, I went back to Rasputin and I had the fire hands, and I was just we lost to Cthulhu the last time, or we won, but I lost because Cthulhu came and sat on me. Yeah. And so I wanted to go back and get some revenge. And then, we got then I'm having to sit because of the team and the thing we were doing. I wasn't able to go around and start blowing everything up. So I'm just sitting there, but I'm like, I'm still enjoying it just with everything, we were 4-player game, wrap my son into it. I don't want to play. And then he's like, yeah.
From the very beginning.
I was like, weren't you not wanting to play this game a little bit? Yeah. So I like the game. I'm enjoying painting the minis, and which is what honestly, to me, helps extend things, right? Whether you're a painter or not, there's easy ways to do stuff, and it just expands the experience that you're having, gets you a little bit more involved in the game, and you know, like I said, it's all those feeling things. How much do I like it? How much does he like it? How much fun are we having together?
Yeah. And you know, when I talked about replayability. There is going to be a lot of that. You have a lot of characters in the base game. You have 2 ancient ones or 2 elder gods that you're able to choose from, and each of them play very different. And then you have all the scenarios, all the scenes, and they look different. This is where it's different from Arkham Horror. Arkham Horror 2nd edition is the same board. Arkham Horror 3rd edition is going to change it up a little bit. You're going to see some differences, but with this one, every scene is different. It's all tile based, so you get into that feel of building your scene out. So if you like Gloomhaven, if you like those dungeon crawlers, this is kind of that. It's a dungeon crawler. You're going through to fight these evil ones.
With one caveat: don't let that scare you away, because this is a tiny dungeon crawler for one. So it's a one and done. So if you ever got, like, I got sick of World of Warcraft and EverQuest and things like that, because I couldn't go on and play for 10 or 15 minutes and then get out. It was like this ordeal. And then you continue, like, you pull this out, it's a one and done. And granted, it's one and done, hour, 2 hours, whatever it is. It doesn't take that long to set up, and you have a lot of fun, and you don't feel like you're playing a campaign or having to do anything like that. So, but it gives you, like, we've lost 2 scenarios, and that gives you replayability right there, because even if you go through the rest of the scenarios, you're going to come back and be like, we're going to win this time.
Or you pick a different elder god, and that's going to be vastly different because they play so different. They influence the game different. You play different characters, that's going to change because your abilities are different in what you do. It's such a
It is. That's my number 2. So
here we go. Up to number 1.
What do you think it is?
What do you think it is?
I think it's Terraforming Mars.
Do you?
Yeah, I thought that was like your favorite game of all time.
You really think that's what it is?
I really think that's what it is. Am I right?
I don't know. What do you think?
I told you that's what I think.
My number 1 game. Yes, Terraforming Mars. I love this game as well. This is another one of those that I'm always going to play. So much going on in this game. It's not pretty in the slightest, and I think that's part of the charm of it. I think that's part of why I like it so much now. It plays well. It is pretty easy to teach. You've got a little bit of area control. You've got a big tableau building. It's got it's a card game with area control. I just love it. What can you say about a game like this? I mean, it's
so he's got a whole series now. Granted, the sound's not the greatest, the lighting's not the greatest, but if you want to really see his like half-hour deep dive into this game and why he likes it so much, we'll put the link down below. But it all is all the same. So
it's great, and I'm excited to start to introduce some of the expansions I've introduced already. Prelude. We've played this several times with our gaming group, and it's been a hit, I think, with every time that we've played it. In fact, to the point that one of the girls in our gaming group went out and pretty much got the deluxeified version herself, and so I was like, now I'm jealous of the upgraded pieces. But I think this is something that will always stay in my collection. I don't see it going too much lower on my list. It's probably going to come out of the 1 spot at some point, but for now, this is it. I adore playing this game, and I also love this because it plays, of all the games that I have played and own, this is the best solo game that I have. So this is something that I will sit down for 2-3 hours at home and have no problems pulling this out. Sometimes solo games, I don't want to pull them out. I do like playing solo. This one, it plays exactly like you're playing competitive with other people. There's no autonoma. You're just playing against yourself on the board, and can you terraform the planet fastest, or before time runs out. So yeah, Terraforming Mars, that's my number 1. It's your number 1 too, isn't it?
So you ready to slap me?
I know it's not your number 1.
This is the one I said it didn't make sense.
Yeah, I figured. That's not surprising at all. Not surprising at all.
It's a good game. It is a good game. We just have a few different flavors about it. And yeah, this is what I wanted to see. I'm like, maybe he might slap me at this.
I might. But honestly, I'm not surprised.
No. I enjoy playing with you. I will happily play it anytime you want to play it out.
I'm assuming Scythe is probably not also on your list. Just having conversation.
So it is on my list.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
And Terraforming Mars is not.
Yes.
Wow. That's impressive.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you liked Terraforming Mars better. But...
I like Scythe better than I do Terraforming Mars.
Okay.
Scythe doesn't take as long.
That's true. That's one thing about Terraforming Mars. You are in for a 3, possibly 4-hour game. If everybody knows,
I would say 3.
3, yeah.
Which it still makes it a long evening. And I expect that game to move up my list the more we play it. I personally have not played it a bunch, but I get it, right? I can see why it's a great game. But like, there's so many cards and so many things that like you have to be exposed to it more and more. Because right now, I still don't know, is this a good card or that? And when you can't even figure that out in the game, it's kind of like, I can sit here and we'll just see how I play, because you're trying to go down this path or that path or whatever, and you don't know enough about the game, haven't played it enough to find out, like, did you just waste 3 hours going down this path? Because, oh, well, you did that move. You idiot.
That is very true. And I think that is an advantage I have. Not saying that that's why I win, but...
No, you strategically plan things out, and you can see that you see the links in things, right? And right now, unlike Brass, I can't see the links. Yeah. And it's not a bad game. Yeah, no, it's just not for everybody.
It's, I mean, there's over 500 cards that you can pick and choose from, and now I do think you liked the mechanic of drafting much better than not drafting. Yes. And I think that's your take that mentality, that you like that.
Well, honestly, it's not the I'm not hate drafting. It was more of a, if you get dealt bad cards, which can happen, you're stuck. But with the drafting, at least you're going to see some cards and be like, no, you're not just going to get this hand of cards, which can happen.
Flip side is if you get a hand of great cards.
Yeah, but at least it starts to level the playing field out, because that person just kind of like, that's why I like the drafting mechanic. And it's kind of like Seven Wonders, right? You do a drafting mechanic. I think it's a nice inherent balancing system to be like, oh, I wanted that, but well, I wanted this one more.
Yeah,
not everything I do is hate drafting.
Yeah, I think there was a little bit of hate drafting there too. But.
Well, there was one I was like, I don't want you to have this. I'll burn this card before I let you have this. And it wasn't so much hating it. I was like, I can't let you get this many points.
Yeah, it would have been good once I figured out what that one was.
What game do you think is my number one?
I don't know. We've already talked about it a good bit.
Mm-hmm.
Have you talked about Great Western Trail yet?
I have not.
You have not. I think it might be Great Western Trail.
You're right.
I do know you a little bit.
This is my number one game. We've got a review of this up. We talked about this. We've talked about Brass. I think in Brass we talk about this versus Brass a little bit.
A little bit.
This game, and he said he literally saw it on my face when I sat there and went, I really like this game. It was literally, we're just sitting there playing it, and it just kind of hit me. It's like, wow, I really enjoy playing this game. I don't think this is going to be my number one forever. I think it's going to be in my top 10 for a while. But like right now, it's just like, this isn't a game I want to play back to back. I could play Brass back to back.
I could play this back to back.
But that, like, I'm almost a little bit exhausted after playing this game. Yeah. And I'm not exhausted after playing Brass. So gives you an idea of why I think Brass isn't that heavy, and I don't think this is rated as heavy.
It's rated less. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, but there's more going on in this. To me, this is closer to Kanban than it is to, Brass or some cube pusher kind of thing. Yeah. So if you like complexity, if you like a lot of things going on, and I think part of it was we're trying, do houses help you win? Do cows help you win? We've come to the conclusion, and I talked about this on another game and on the other list, your base points are going to come from the cows. Like, I'm not sure you can win this game if you don't play the cows, and I know that probably sounds like, what the heck are you talking about? So your deck builder, you get cards, and that's where you're giving points, you're getting more money. And the cows give you victory points at the end. So this game has that as a base, and then there's all these other mechanisms that allow you to get points after that. and it's not super points out.
It's not. No.
And, and you don't know what the other person has, so you're not watching this trail. Like when we played Kanban, I knew when I lost. I absolutely knew when I lost. I knew there was no way for me to catch up because it's a tight game. I had missed that step, right? You don't know here. You literally are thinking, I'm in the win. I'm going to win. I'm in the win. I'm in the win. You think, I'm going to win. Or, I don't think I'm doing that well. And then you count up and like, holy crap, I won.
Yeah.
It's
the cows are important in so many ways.
Right.
And that's...
It's your engine.
When you hit that idea of I'm not buying the cows, I have to buy the cows individually will give you points at the end of the game because they're in your deck, but then they also are going to help diversify the cows that you have to be able to sell off to get more money, to get more points, to do more actions, to get more workers. So there is so much to it with that, but it's a great game.
It is
just a great game.
I get it. You're looking at it and being like, Great Western Trail, freaking cowboys and driving cows. You gotta be kidding me. And all I can say is, it's amazing.
Yeah. The theme works. It's not painted on. It is surprisingly good. Nobody dies of dysentery. That's the only thing I think of this game.
That would be hilarious. A nice little Oregon Trail reference. But, I just can't explain enough. Don't let the theme detract you because I was there. The theme, and that's why I really do recommend going and watching Shut Up and Sit Down because they do an amazing job of telling a story and getting you wrapped up in it. And it allowed me to break through, right? And there's those games you get that gamer snob or like that theme is horrible, and the game isn't that much.
No, it's really not.
It's like 60, 70. I mean, and it's kind of like Guy Part. It's like for what you're getting out of this game, it's like, wow, you're not Cthulhu Death May Die is more expensive, less than half the price of Kanban, so as you're looking value for your money, whatever, this is, obviously it's my number one. So I probably should shut up now.
It's going to keep coming to the table. It's one that we'll love. So
yeah. Definitely. And we've played it at 3. I want to play this at 4. I think the more people we play this with, to me, I think the more.
Play a game with 4.
No, we only got 3 because we had one person not show that time.
That's right.
But like I kind of like with brass. I think brass would probably be more fun at 4. Now it may take longer to get back to you, but I think like this introduces more and more stops and more things you have to deal with more players and more buildings and stuff. So
I don't know how this one will scale. Brass is going to scale a little bit. You do remove components for 2, you remove components for 3, but
this just adds.
And even you and I have played it several times together, but then adding in that 3rd player, it did change the game up quite a bit. So having that 4th, it's going to be a little bit more take that. It's going to be a little bit more blocking, not necessarily blocking, but the game's going to play very different.
Yeah, I think just people are going to get things before you do.
That's it. Yeah. Maybe not take that. It's just
it's just like, oh, I wanted that. Oh, you got that before me. So, so that's our top 10. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you can see like I'm having a blast here. Right. So why are we doing this channel? Why are we doing this? Is because I like sitting down with my friend. I like sitting talking about board games. Hope you're enjoying coming along for the ride. Hopefully the sound and the microphones and everything kind of keep you like, joined in here, a little music in the background, stuff like that. Keep coming back. Tell your friends about us. What do you think? How do we wrap it up?
Well, thanks for stopping by. We'd love it if you'd like the video, subscribe to the channel, click the bell for the notifications for when we have new videos that we'll be posting. This has been an incredibly fun series to plan for and be able to film. So these are our top 40 games, a little bit of overlap between the 2 of our lists. And I'm excited now to be able to go back and watch your prior videos to see what else is on your list other than the top 10. But as Brad said earlier, comment down below what your top 10s are, top 10 games are, or top 5 or number 1 game. Do you agree with us? Do you want to argue any of it with us? What are your thoughts? Let us know. And if there's any games that were not on our top 40 that you think should be, let us know that as well, because we're always looking to pick up new games and try new games and kind of see what's next for our group and for ourselves and our collections. So.
We all know it's an addiction, right? So
Oh, just
we'll just keep feeding it. Oh, and I meant to mention this at the beginning, but I forgot. You're gonna vote for Team Brad or Team Toph? So comment down below. Whose top 10 did you like better? Like, you want to.
My games are better.
No, pick my list. So comment down below. You can just say Brad or Toph or Team Brad, Team Toph.
My games are better.
It definitely
He
you want to pick my
good.
type. Mine are better. So just here. Anyway, have a great day. Enjoy every game that you have, no matter what's on your list.
Yes, I agree with that.
All right. Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye. Yeah, let's dance.
I do kind of want to do that. I want to that's why I want to figure out what song I want to do, because then I can be like, I like the music.
God, you're recording, aren't you?
Yeah.
Oh, that was good.
Fun. See how many back.
Dogs twice.